You are the ant on this negotiation table. What are you coming to negotiate with? You practically die with your idea. As a businessman, you must aspire. Yes, I had big dreams, but I have to face the reality of where I am. For people who do tech, if you're not like a tech founder, it's a whole lot of work. You have a technical guy that is not picking your call. To be a director, you must be mentally all right. Some people are looking at you just to copy your templates and use it. They have more money than you, so they will run you out of business. You can't go to the bank with an empty account. They say you have an idea. No, you have been doing something. They'll give you money. There are some things that bring revenue. There are some things that will bring profits. Never you do a business you can't do by yourself. I learned it in laundry, learned it in tech. Get people that have done it, that have succeeded. You need them. The beauty of a business, if you can leave your business and it runs without you.
Welcome to the Journey with Mo, where we talk about the resilience, the grit, the dedication, and strategy that goes into a successful journey. Our mission is very simple: to help emerging entrepreneurs and career professionals walk through their career path faster with clarity and confidence. Today's story, our guest is someone who has failed in a couple of businesses before founding his current thriving business. If you are running a small business or building a small business, this story is a must for you. The story is so insightful, educative, and relatable. He was real and sincere. Let's make welcome Mr. Oluwaseyi Afeni. So let's start with this. I will want you to run us through your early days education and how they cumulatively shape you to become who you are today.
My name is Oluwaseyi Afeni. I'll take it this way. In respect of my educational background, I think I've been blessed with parents, my dad and mom. I bless God, they are still alive. They've played a very vital role. The vital role is when I started going to school, I think I attended about 4 or 5 primary schools. And the reason is this: anytime my dad comes to my school and he feels that there is an issue, he doesn't like the educational standard, he changes my school. So my primary school there, I learned that my dad has always taken my education very serious. So if he comes to this particular school and he feels that, he's not satisfied, he changes it. So moving up from that, I mentioned a few schools I went to, primary school. I went to Our Lady of Apostle Primary School, private. I also, at a point in time, went to Charles Pride. At a point in time, there was a G2, and there was probably a statement that I was going to be the last. My dad wanted me to write G2, and I was taken to National Primary School to write G2. That's my primary education. From there, I moved into secondary school. Secondary school, I went to Government College Ketu first. Government College Ketu where I used about 2 years. And 2 years after that, I had to go to St. Finbar's College. St. Finbar's College, my dad wasn't happy with the way it was going. My dad said, you know what, I need to change you. I went to Berliner College, a private school. And there I finished my secondary school. So basically, one of the things I learned from my dad is he's been big on education, big about standards, and he's been there all through. Then I finally had to write. I actually wanted to study medicine, but JAM, my capacity didn't get me into medicine, so I had to do marine science. Studying marine science with a science background has been interesting. I've tend to read and learn a lot more. So after that, my parents had to, take a little bit low because I'd grown on my education and I picked it from there myself. So I further went to do a master's degree in marine pollution and management. And after that, I've been able to take a lot of courses, short courses, full courses, and I bless God for that.
Before we go deeper into the story, let me pause for a second. If you're someone building a business, or growing a career, or trying to figure out your next move in life, honestly, this channel was created for you. Every story here is real decisions, real struggles, real lessons you can actually apply to your own. If this resonates with you, even if it is little, like this video, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss our next story. Honestly, I really want to hear from you. As we go into this story, if any part of it hits home for you, drop it in the comment section. That your experience might be exactly what someone needs to read today. Now, let's move. So, can you tell us how marine science led you into entrepreneurship?
So, my educational background in marine. Before you see a child reading a course, a family is important. My educational background in marine is a culmination of parents, uncles, and that there's a particular uncle of mine who has always spotted it and said, when I finish university, he's going to sponsor me to Faith Foundation. He said I should do business. That's aside every other person has been saying it, but he said it and he put his money there. So he told me, when you finish your NYC, I want you to go to Faith Foundation. I found this school and you go there. So if you say marine science, parenting, they wanted me to read medicine, but a lot of things that added up to build me. And furthermore, my mom is a retired nurse, so I've always been hands-on on doing different things. So I would probably say I was born into the science, maybe the biological sciences. I had to learn it, I had interest. So marine science was just, how I put it, marine science gave me a broader view into water sciences, using a microscope, touching diverse areas of biological sciences. And in that, I was able to look further and say, okay, you know what, I understand water, I understand a bit of biochemistry, because I've progressed from laundry and moved into ice. From ice, I've progressed into fruit juices. From juices, I've moved into health tech. So a child is not just read, marine science over the years. It's been a build-up from when I was younger. So marine science after that, then my uncle said, okay, I came back from service. He said, you are going to go to Faith Foundation. And he paid and I had to go. So that was like another switch for me. I would call it a major switch in my business career, because he said, don't just start business. You have the zeal, you have the tenacity, but I think you need to go to school to learn how to do business. And that also brought a further, insight into what I should be doing business-wise.
So, how did funding your academics, for instance, at Harvard Business School online and your mini MBA at Faith Foundation, how have they shaped your career towards success?
In life, like we've all learned, you have to continue learning. You have to continue reading. So at a phase in life after Faith Foundation, I practiced business. I was going on it for a while. I felt I needed to listen to something more structured, because I also read books. I needed to have a structured education. So I saved up for it, and it cost about $1,500. And I said, okay, you know what, let me do this course. If I cannot afford a full Harvard degree, I should be able to have a slight bite of how Harvard tastes like. So, and I did it, and it changed my perspective. It changed my thoughts about global business. It gave me different insights on how currency runs, things that make businesses run, and things about GDP, how to run your business, if you're running it foreign. A lot of things learned in that short time, and it helped me to understand how to run a business globally.
So, at what point in your life were you convinced that entrepreneurship is your thing?
I can look at something and say, okay, you know what can we do with this and make money? Okay, can we, let's say we are home. There was a time I and my cousin, when we go for vacation at my uncle's place, and he always says that I have the ability to gather people. I noticed that I can gather people, I can speak to them, I can make them do things that are positive. And that was noted. Then I've also put, okay, how can I make money from this? So there's always a free space in this house. I'm thinking, okay, can we do this and can we do that? So I would say it's from being young, I noticed it. Then as I moved into business itself, I noticed it was for me, because at every challenge, I've always had this drive to overcome it. And I always feel like, okay, why go and take a job when I can also sit down, create jobs, and people will get paid. I can also be useful to the economy. So I always felt, okay, you know what? Because the issue of no jobs is not today. It has always been since I've known, at least understood a little bit of economics. I understand that there's always been scarcity of jobs. And I've always looked at, okay, after school, based on different career trainings we've had, both at NYC, during school, after school, I've always known that, okay, you know what? I would sit down, use my skills, the innate ones and the ones I've learned, to start a business.
From what you said now, it is obvious that you knew quite early that you were going to be an entrepreneur. So my question is, were there conflicts when you were studying marine science, knowing fully well that marine science and being an entrepreneur are not related? Did that pose some kind of conflict?
So, the popular sales quote says, you don't get one customer in one way. You get one customer, you can get a customer in different ways. The way I got this customer is not the way I'll get the other customer. So hence means that you have to be armed with every form of marketing skill. So and with every form of marketing skills means you are well informed, you've touched PR, media, branding, sales, marketing. Why I'm using this to juxtapose my point is we have different skills and we have residual of skills. Coming from my background, my mom, there are some children that just like biological things. So, she's a nurse. I asked what the injection is for, what the stethoscope is for. We've had emergencies at home in our place where people come in and they say, they want to, somebody is in labor, and I have an idea of one or two things to do. So I've been into the biological field. That's something I had to pick up, let's say, from my parents. But innate in me, I can always look at people, manage people. Okay, look at how do we do this? Okay, let's sell this, let's turn this into money. So I just feel I'm like a businessman. When you start, you have to be a complete book. When I mean a complete book of businesses, you have to have an understanding. You have to understand every bit of business, be it operations, sales. You have to understand marketing. You have to understand how to brand by yourself. You have to understand how to use your machines by yourself. So I just feel that all those training makes me a complete businessman, quote unquote, if you permit me to use that.
As an entrepreneur and a CEO, what are some of the challenges you face in your early days in business, and how did you navigate your way through them?
SIP Network comes with a few stories, both good and bad. SIP Network was my first try on startup and tech, and it started as Niger Campus. Niger Campus was not purely my idea. It was like an elder brother to me that looked at me and said, you know what, there's this idea, but I can't run it, but I see you have the drive. So we ran the idea. The idea was we're trying to connect students with lecturers, and connecting students with lecturers, we're trying to provide materials. And in providing materials, we went around different schools, sent agents, and got the past question. We retyped it, put it online. So people came and stole it, put watermark. So we learned how to use watermark. As we moved on in life, we decided to have the CBT platform. CBT platform, it was shutting down. We had to get people to do it. Then Pass was there. That was the most popular one as at then. And as at then, there was a bank that we went to pitch to. And we began to understand. That was a phase where I began to understand how the tech space is, how to pitch to an investor. The whole of SIP Network is a learning curve for people who do tech. If you're not like a tech founder, it's a whole lot of work, a whole lot of stress. You have a technical guy that is not picking your calls, shuts down you. You can't develop whether a web as at that time on an app, and it was a big learning phase for me. So from there we moved. After all that, before that there was competition in the CBT. We now moved into content making. We're making content for secondary schools. We created a book called The Visuals. We're trying to visualize our secondary school textbook majorly, and to make them easy for people to read due to retention span. And we did a whole logo on it, the visuals. We actually had Professor Jegede on it. It was the then Dean of Education of the University of Lagos. We were doing video content. We're all around, we're everywhere. But I felt as at then there was just something missing. Like people say, what Nokia said. Sometimes you do everything right, but Nokia found that and it doesn't just work out right. I felt I did everything right, I put in the energy, but there was something missing. And it didn't work. So it was a big learning curve. So I had to go back and sit down. I told myself, a big lesson from there, not having a technical founder, I forced my brother to go and learn how to develop. So as a leader, if you're trying to be, I had to tell him, you know what, you have to learn how to develop. So we don't have our technical guys shutting down you. We had to sit down, review our marketing structure. We're reaching out to even people on Indians, but the money we were requesting for them was not within our reach. After that, he went to learn. So that's why I say I think one of my strongest points, I can gather people and make them do what they want to do or what they are meant to do. And when we did that, but we're just a little bit behind time. So we couldn't come because then Pass had gone, they already had different other things. Though we had our own shots, we had a bank willing to speak with us, and the bank said, okay, you know what? I think that's why we needed somebody else more in-depth, and the bank said, can you create content for us? So we said we'll get back, but we wanted to be a team on our own, and we didn't get back to the bank. We said, oh, sorry, we can't give you our content, we can't create content for you rather. And looking back, I feel that there are some things we would have done better, but I've learned, and it's a whole lot. So when people, like some people say about tech, I feel everybody has their own fair share taste of tech. The lessons to take for tech people is, if you're a non-technical founder, it's quite stressful. You need to have somebody close to your blood that is a technical person. I tried to learn it, but was late because you have to drive the business, you have to sell, you have to look for every other thing, you have to put your team together, you have to pay salaries. If you can't pay, you have to be able to speak to them, motivate them to wait, you have to get an office space. I learned something while working. Some people don't have ideas, some people strive on other people's ideas. If your idea is working, they're coming to take your idea. So I put it in plain terms. Plain terms is, some people are looking at you just to copy your templates and use it. They have more money than you, so they will run you out of business. So you still have to also monitor that. So the whole of Safe Network, that's what embodied this. Safe Network. Safe Network was my first major shot at trying to build a tech startup, and it was an interesting story. From there, I've done several other tech ideas, and from there, I let my story listen to people, and I kept it aside and faced other businesses of the day. Thank you.
Your early days in business seems really busy. Please tell us more about your evolution from Niger campus to One Academy and then to Safe Network. And tell us some of the lessons you learned along the way.
So the beautiful thing is, from Niger campus, we were think global, act local. We wanted to give it a name that was appealing to people. So we switched it from from Niger campus to One Academia. From One Academia, we couldn't get those names registered. So what was registered on CAC was Safe Network. Then from there, we had Safe Visuals. So basically, when we're giving the Niger campus vision, it was to connect students. Now, we're trying to connect students, and we realized that to connect students, we're also trying to connect lecturers. To connect students, we felt that we needed to provide them materials. The materials that most people were saying, I can say it, we had the neatest materials. We still have samples of them, the neatest. We retyped them, sourced materials, branded them, put them online. They were free to get traction. Yeah, that was the time we had a lot of followers on our platform. I think 5,000 or 10,000. My brother is not here to confirm that because he was a tech person as and then. And we went ahead to do a CBT. Our CBT was free. We're getting people, but you know what happens? You wake up one morning, there's a bug. You just see that you've lost people. You wake up one morning, somebody has hacked you, all of that. So it was a learning phase from us. But at every challenge we had, I had a fantastic team. At every challenge I had, I found out that I had a team that was ready to move. I had a particular guy, read one, who, when I say material, was ready to go around any school to get materials. He would get materials, make phone calls. We did all that. When we found out the space was getting crowded, we decided to switch from remodeling the traditional books to visuals. And traditional book to visual was a major breakthrough, sincerely. As we made some money, made traction, but I felt we didn't have, there was a missing ingredient. So we had an idea that was already working. We had converted. We needed a good graphic artist and good video content person. So we moved through that. We had a product ready, the visuals. The visuals, we realized that how do we scale? As at that year, I'm talking about maybe some 7 years ago, that year too, for every tech thing, your ability for your idea to scale within your region, you have to be scalable. The likes of Facebook is, you have these few users and you can move. So we had all that, but I just felt, like I said, we were able to transition because we're young guys. We had the drive, we transitioned, we moved, we broke through from every phase. There was a guy that was practically copying our materials, branding it in his name. They were a big tech of this guy that raised money, that were coming to look for us at our offices. When I mean coming to look for, I'm being real. We caught them on camera like 2-3 times. They were coming, they were looking at us, that who are you guys? But we're free. So we're trying to do video content. As of that year too, we're reaching to some online sources to do video content. We still have some on One Academia. If you check, we have some on One Academia. We still have a Facebook page. I know I checked it. From there, we had the vision of doing scholarships and all that. But as of that time, we've done our best. And it gets to a level in life where, there's a book I think I came across something. As you move, I think those are one of the things we have in the African tech space. As you move, time is ticking. There's a time to get married. There's a time to make real money. There's a time to pay bills. As at that time, we had to abandon it and face what really brings money, what really put food on the table, and all that. So after a while, we learned to leave the tech space and move up to things that to us were being real. Because if you read the Facebook story, it wasn't making money for like 13 years. Somebody was bankrolling that, but nobody was bankrolling. So I was working, using salaries and all that to run it. But it was my brother, I was able to manage him. We were managing them, we had an office space, because the tech thing there, we're reading it, you need lights, you need to have access to lights, access to a good office. So we had to rent a small office space. We're paying and we're moving through. So basically, I can say that because if we put pen to paper on how much of visuals that was sold, it was a book that we're taking around schools, and we sold in thousands. We had principals that gave us years. I was opportune. We met principal of British International School, told us fantastic idea. Both British International, the book has to be certified by British, which is standard, but no, our own book is not standardized. You have a fantastic idea. So as you move in business, you don't tell us those real things. We had school proprietaries and principals that gave us, opened their doors to us. Oh, we've not seen this before. They spoke to us, gave us listening. Those that could buy said, okay, you know what, I like your book. Give me 10 pieces. Okay, I'll send you to this school. That was when the idea was interesting. So you need to have innovation must be top notch, your creativity. So for a businessman, at every time you have a stop Jan. Yes, you need innovation and creativity. But if you are hungry, sometimes the innovation and creativity might not come. So I think that's what separates the African entrepreneur from every other entrepreneur. So the African entrepreneur, there are things that are real that we need to face. So creativity comes as we move, because we felt we had an idea, we had the energy, we're breaking through every problem. When we got to the light bulb moment, there was this light bulb moment, boom, we found what we wanted. We needed to scale, so we realized we had to register the book with the federal government. You had to register with science. But before that, we were doing well. So that's the area where we need to check getting permits and doing that. But when I mean we got the idea, we had schools that proprietaries were buying, they were recommending, we were using them, and was fantastic. But if you ask me things I felt we did wrong or we could have done better, we're young guys, maybe we would have maybe reached out to somebody that was elderly, But there was always this phrase that if you reach out to those people that are elderly, they are sharks, they want to eat you. We've had people that will say, okay, I'll offer you, you'll take 70%, you take 30% of your idea. And, so it's like a double-edged sword. It's like you're between the deep blue sea and the devil itself. They are real. So we actually try to meet people, and some will give you deals that are unimaginable. But if you look at some of those deals really, you don't have the money. But that person has the money, but you have the idea. So is how we can get, we can all come to that point where there's an understanding. And I think the tech space, business space now is getting better as we evolve. And we are because I've been able to come across a lot of platforms where you can put your ideas. I've been able to come across structured platforms, structured networks where they can link you up. Oh, you're a founder, link you with someone who can help you. But things I took away from that were, it's just like what they say. The African tech space, you say, idea rules the world. Fantastic. But yes, ideas helped me to a level, but the places where we needed money. So maybe permit me to add this. Along the line, there's something for me that I realized about business is everybody wants or likes the CEO label. I want to be an entrepreneur. But I'll put it this way. Someone needs to discover you, and you also need to discover yourself. So, like I said, my uncle saw something in me and put money in me. That was the first step. I've had people, a lot of people, good people, that have invested in me. I didn't just get here overnight. And you need people. So those people actually see something in you, and they'll keep giving you that push. So we call it, tech people will call it your burn rate. The time, money you need to have, the resources you need to have till you need your next money. So if your idea is good, you keep your name clean, you have a good slate, you always get people to keep you through your burn rate. But for how long? So I've had people keep me through my burn rate. Yeah, things they don't tell you. The first business I started with is laundry. I started as a laundry business after I finished Faith Foundation. I started doing laundry. So parenting is key. My dad is the cleanest. So I think that's where I got clean. So my dad always tell you to wash his handkerchief and you wash it till it's white. And so when I was going to start a business, the cheapest business to start without money was I started a laundry business. So I'll say this story because you said we should be real. And I collected an office space. And my landlord came after nearly 5-7 months and said this office space is sold. I paid 2 years. Well, my uncle just looked at me and said, you know what, okay, you can come to my house. So some people run businesses, they don't tell you what makes them or what keeps them through their burn rate. Well, African businesses, we need to tell ourselves the truth. Basically, there's an uncle, there's a dad, there's a auntie, there's a father, there's a mother who is taking care of all that. There's a big laundry company here in Nigeria, and when I was in laundry, we were trying to compete with them, only for us to find out that the house they are using, they actually don't pay for it, it's inherited. So I'm looking for that word, it's called platforms. So most people have platforms in businesses. Some tell us quietly. Some have platforms, and how do I compete with someone that I pay rent, you actually don't pay rent, you have headroom to make more money, you have those monies to compete in areas I can't compete. I'm being real. So when you do that, some of us don't tell us about these headrooms that you need. They don't give us these ideas, they don't tell us. And that's why I would like if the African business ecosystem or economy, let me put ecosystem, can help us and tell us the truth. You can run a business as somebody who is coming from nothing. Our stories are different. You can run a business coming as a rich kid. Yes, there are areas where we meet, where we integrate. I'll give an example. You come from a place where you are actually okay, you don't pay rent. You can compare to someone who pays rent. We're different. Rent is one of the things that wipes out your income, whether your house rent or your business space rent. So I've witnessed that. I've done my own personal study. I'm talking from experience. I've been running businesses. I left school 2007. So, and from that day, I've been doing one form of business. And so if we come back home, let me bring a little bit home, is that those who claim, they just made it overnight, there's always a back end story. And my own back end is I had people, I'll tell you. I had uncles, I had dad, I had mom, I had my pastors, I had people help me through, see me through my face. My office space has been sold, 2 years rent gone. My uncle said, oh, come and use this. Oh, my pastor said, come and pick up this and use it. I had people that said, oh, you are doing something that is real. You are doing something that is legit. They gave me that space. So, and that's what helped me. So as at then, that business would have died. So I moved through that. Yes, I had my ideas, I knew what I was doing, but I had someone to see me through. So I always tell people, I have no issues with the rich kid, because when I listen to other people's story that are worse than mine. And the way they started the business. So if you're a guy starting your business on the mainland and you're starting in Lekki, don't compare yourself to somebody who was gifted a building to start a business. You also always factor in, oh, I'm going to pay rent. And if you are paying rent, it pays you start small. Those are the stories of you start from your kitchen, you start from that. People tell us about a lot of story. I'll be real with you. There's a point in time I read a lot of autobiographies, a lot of books. There's a point in my life where I stopped reading them because I've come to a level where I've done 10 years in business. So I try to juxtapose the books I read, what has happened to me, and where I am, and where it's going to take me to. So I've come to discover that I've been inspired. I've been given more grit. I've read bad stories, and I read some real stories. There's a particular book I read on 10 most successful people. I think out of 10, like 7 come from nothing. But please don't compare the American economy to the Nigerian economy. America, there you have insurance. Insurance will pay for something. Here, your insurance is your good behavior and people around you. So we have different kinds of insurance. We're coming from different spaces. So that book I read was American Business People. So, and I've come to sit down. I've read a lot, and like I said, I'm saying my own story, where I'm coming from, and where I am right now. I will state that to put it all together is, as a business person, you have to know yourself. While knowing yourself, people will identify some things in you which you need. So if you're not a business person, you'll be told straight, go and get a job. And one of the things you have is your ability to gather people. You must be able to sell. Like they say, you have to be able to first sell your vision. And sometimes I look at why are people sticking with me? Why are they working with me? Ability to sell your vision. At a point in time where selling your vision, you must know what you are doing. They must be able to see some tangible results. If it's not money coming in, as the money is not coming in that will sort out your bills, they should be able to see some form of sales or form of the idea is real. So I will use it to summarize my whole Niger campus story till we closed it down, and then it was safe visuals, because as at then we what Okada Books is trying to do, we do safe visuals. We're trying to make sure there's a platform where you can put your books and it will not be pirated. And we didn't have the money. There was an invoice given to us by an Indian tech company to build that software. As at then, we're going to have a web version and the app version. And there was no money. I think then it was about $10,000 or $15,000, and that fund was not available. So when we were going to pitch for people, they told us, how can you put your book, the visuals, how can you make sure we have access to it without the physical copy? So we're trying to create a website where you'll be able to put that book and have it, but that idea could not probably see the light of day. So we had to move on to other things. Thank you.
You have done a couple of businesses, but I am curious. What was the inspiration behind the migration from Safe Network, which was in tech, to Cripsy Juice, which is in biological science? Who wants you to expatiate on that?
In the beginning of my story, I stated that we moved from running a laundry outfit. We moved into tech. And after tech wasn't working, we all need to pick a job. So we realized that, okay, I've been into business. So the people who were working for me, I'd pick a job. So I transitioned into ice. I was producing ice, because at that point I've learned one or two few things into ice, and everything in life. So if you are, when we went to school, you touch different courses. Everything in life is needed for your future. So one of the things I encourage people is, no matter what course you are reading or where you find yourself, just learn. No matter the kind of boss you have right now, you need to learn, because if you're running your business, there'll be bad times. You can have a boss that is working you out. Just learn. So a lot of things added up to it. First, when I was in tech, I learned you have to be able to do mass market. So mass market also made me realize on what product will I be building. So I went into ICE, and ICE, I realized that people could buy from me from anywhere. So that was good for me. Then COVID came. So when COVID came, so the event sector was affected, and it took a big blow on us. While looking for something, I realized that, I had a lot of freezers because I was producing ice. So I said, you know what? Let me sell frozen food. So I sold frozen food. After post-COVID, I sold frozen food. Because I just had to transition. My office was there doing nothing, generator, everything. Staff were there. So from frozen food, that was gone. Went into food. And I realized that, I needed something to scale. So sitting there, I looked inward. I looked at my background. Look at what I can easily switch. Everybody was talking about compliments. What can you switch? What can you move from? So I realized that I needed to move into something like a mass market. In the process of praying, process of researching, I found out, you know what? Let me start producing juices. So the gap between this and the juice, between me and you, is a lot. Because when you read it, I've learned to, that thing they call test your idea is key. I can be spontaneous, but this time I had to test the idea. So I had to walk around from every juice bar I could find down to every supermarket, try to check the kind of juices was available before I just plunged into it. And that time you still be looking at, I have staffs I have to pay. This business is not paying the bills, it's not bringing money. My rent is almost expiring. So I checked juices, and I realized that to run a factory, you've seen Chivita. Chivita is fine, but bro, if you check Chivita's factory and the cost of running it, you won't try it. That was even then, not even now. So you see someone that just has a juice bar, you just like the front room. Try and ask someone if they can help you. We don't do that in Nigeria here for many reasons, and I don't blame people. Most people will show you their back office. When you get to the back office, you tend to see a lot. A lot goes in from the back office. And in doing that research, so because I have a good science background, I can, buy a product, try and dissect it. I can taste it, check what component is in it. So I start using the little cash. I buy, and check. Then I'll check their offices and read. We've been burnt. There's no money. COVID, so there's no money to lavish. So you have to do these experiments. You have to do it properly. After I discovered something that was not really all that of a big discovery, there's a difference between innovation and what actually is your own germane idea. For me, I just asked, why is there a gap in pineapple? And there's this gap. So the entrepreneur side of me, I just jumped into pineapple. Let's get the machine, and I started producing pineapple. But sorry, pineapple is acidic. Pineapple just needs small air. Once you cut it, it ferments. I cried. Then like they said, we have a platform where we are, suppose say your shaggy moment, or the period where you have to cry your premium tears, and you cry premium. And sometimes those tears are not what you shed in your eyes, because for entrepreneurs, we are kind of hard. We are hard to break. We've seen it all, quote unquote. Because when I mean you've seen it all, you've done business, your idea looks fine, it won't just work. You've had staff, some of them, you spend a whole lot on them, they will still go. You've had people who give you money and say, I'll give you 6 months when the person has a problem. The person wants to withdraw his money or investment within 2 weeks. You have it all. So, when I had that, but I just realized that, this was going to sell. This was going to scale. So I went into juicing. But juicing, I had it behind my mind that, I needed to get NAFDAC approved. My office needs to be... I understand how it is to get NAFDAC approved. So I'll be real with you. My office is in Folagoro. I used to have an office in Ikeja, but we shut it down. So before COVID, I had office in Ikeja, had office on the island, had office here on the mainland, 3 offices, but COVID, you closed them down. So everybody had to find out to run some things online. So I had to move my office back to strictly Folagoro. And being in Folagoro, school came up, school was in session, and they were patronizing, buying the juices. Boom. School was closed. So we have to go back to the basics. So to be a director, you must be mentally all right. And they say when you're not mentally all right, you have to leave the company. So that mentally all right is pregnant. You have to have mental grit. You have to be tenacious. You have to your ability not to give up, because the person who wants to give you money has to see all those characteristics in you. I'll say something. People think getting your licenses, you need to get licenses. I have friends that are in tech, and they'll tell you, if you have your licenses, it helps you to do business. It helps investors to believe in you. So if it's something you can gather funds for, please do it. Whatever space you belong to, be properly accredited. So getting the license gave me the opportunity to distribute in supermarket, and boom, I was it looks like I was virtually everywhere. So that gave me another after facing several challenges as at post-COVID, this gave me an idea that as a business person, you have to evolve. Few things I've read. Toyota used to produce sewing machines before they moved into cars. Well, those are the stories we read that year. So the stories, you might look at, they had their own good part. Things you have to learn is, wherever you are, learn it. Start with laundry. Let me share, for those who do a little bit of laundry, your premium tiers. Premium tiers is, as of 2010, the TM goes for 7.5, and you wash it for 100 naira, and you're carrying it with keke napep or Okada, and something tears it. Bro, my sis, 7.5, Spain 100 to 200 naira. You buy a shirt of 7.5. So it's part of it. So nobody tells you, they just tell you, go and pick up laundry, you get a washing machine, and you get a washing machine, you iron, prepare for the worst. No matter how much you do laundry, even big companies, because at the point in time as I grew, I tend to meet the people that run the laundry business. I can say for it, I've met the biggest people in laundry, and they will tell you, yes, they face their fair share of damages, because, fabric, and that's why they write something behind every fabric or letter. If you put, if there's a stain, you put a chemical on it, there's no 100% guarantee that there might be a coloration change. So you imagine it happens, you have to buy the fabric. I know how to wash, I know how to iron, but the next person I employ, I have to skill. I don't know, you make a mistake. The guy is tired, he just leaves the iron, he forgets, he gets burnt. But the guy is tired, the guy mixes up what will remove biro. He mixes it with what is meant to remove oil stain, and he reacts, and the color changes. You buy it. Because you want to keep your name, you not tell the person that comes that, oh, sorry, I had a coloration. Some customers have been fantastic. Be real. I've gone to meet a guy before, Ralph Lauren, yes, that year, and I said, see, I'm sorry. You asked me to remove this stain. I was trying to remove it, and the cloth changed color. That cloth then, it was expensive, and the customer said, you know what, you can go. If you were to be my other dry cleaner, they will wrap it and keep it there for me. So I learned something, but you have to keep scaling. The lessons I learned running laundry are things that I know that, yes, I had to deal with, because you deal with power issues, you deal with generator shutting down, you deal with the fact that sometimes your staff won't show up. So my own lesson, never do a business you can't do by yourself. Never you do a business you can't do by yourself. I learned it in laundry, learned it in tech. I can wash and iron, and now I'm good at that. If there's any competition, I'll win. So I wash. I believe I wash faster than a washing machine. It depends on the size. So if it were to be a 20 kg machine, we'll do more than. But with a small 7 kg, I'll wash better than it. I can iron. I'm good. So when there's that lapses, I did myself. If you check due days at then, I can say, for instance, they say top 2 or top 3. I was the laundry guy that did laundry on due day, and I was washing for 100 naira. And because I read, they told me I needed to scale, and I know I needed to scale. So due day will give me skill. They let me get customers from everywhere around Lagos, which I got. But I did it, but I knew where my body was. It wasn't even my body. I knew where my machines were, because I got orders. So imagine you have to wash 1,000 clothes for 100 naira. I make good money. quote unquote, from due day, and they won't tell you that I was there. Everybody just sees you on due day and they just go, you're making money, you're good, I can see you're good. That aspect is there, and family is key. So family is key, and like I said, network. My definition of network is embedded in friends. People might say they have it bad with friends. I think I have good friends, and I have one of the best friends in the world. I have a good pastor that's there for me all through. They always say we always need a platform. Some of them will give you their cars, some of them will give you their clothes to experiment, some of them will give you their network. And I enjoyed that. And we're in Africa, yes, they say Africa there's spirits, yes, but in Africa too, we're a place where I'll put it like this: you have 2 washing machines, and your washing machine, you already know that it can only wash like 100 clothes, but you might have forgotten you want to wash 500 clothes, and that's the day to just shut down. Your customers have called you, you've promised them that they will deliver, and you will deliver, and you're not just delivering. So you just put the washing machine aside, and all of you will start washing, and you'll be shocked that your family members have to join you to wash. So family is a key part of success of business. And I use I'm not permitted to call some people's name, but I use some people that have learned their stories, and you will see that they have strong family network. It's not all about money most of the time. It's about what those family can do for you with network. Bill Gates will tell you that his mom. So those are part of the story, right? You just read Bill Gates' story, you want to be Bill Gates the next day, and Bill Gates will tell you that his mom was instrumental. His dad was instrumental too, but his mom took him for his first meeting. Networking is key. Not everything is money. And what I'm trying to say, the laundry story has been able to help me build everything that you can see factory. It's been a whole lot, and life is not going to be all good. Some customers will see and say, oh, I know you tried, don't worry, some give you extra money. There's a customer that called me on due day and said, you know what, I'm not going to pay the due day price. I like you guys, you're young guys, I'll pay you the real price. You get, there are friends that will say, okay, I'll wash from you, don't give me the discount, I would pay the original price. So like someone says, they usually make this funny thing we say, let's stop doing baby shower, let's do business shower. Yes, it's real. Friends do that. Friends will tell you I'll pay the original price they pay. I've had customers that have been nice to me, and some that will even tell you that don't worry, I'll link you up. They've been good. So like they say, a lot of things. Ideas rule the world. You need ideas. Trust is the currency for business. You need trust. In ideas, you need innovation. You're going to get stuck. Your ability to come out from your present stuck state. And juxtaposing my story, because in juice I had to deal with machines, so I had to realize I had to read machines. I had to realize I have to understand. So whether if you like be an engineer, don't like it, you have to understand how to calculate your load, power rating. Your generator will just blow up one morning, and you realize that when you now call an engineer that would speak, that understands the job, the engineer tells you, sorry, you have a 7 kVA gen and you just put a 10 kVA load on it. So some of these things you have to understand, and you realize, oh, you have to just get a new coil for your generator and all that. So all those things. So if a good client has paid you ahead 100% full payment, and you can't give excuses, even your conscience tells you have to deliver, and you see things move step by step, you can't deliver. You see time tick. The day is meant to move slowly, it's moving fast, and it's time for you to deliver. So you will learn a little bit of it. That's how a businessman has to know a little bit about everything. So my experience over the years has taken me to this level. Everything in life is linked. Good. You see, everything we learn, you need at a point in time. So I'm able to use that to galvanize myself to my current state. So that's how I moved from laundry. I moved into tech. I needed to scale. Tech wasn't because, you see, people, that's where I said, so I want to tell you my own truth. What was running the tech was my laundry business, taking money from it. So how did I run tech? Nobody tells you how they run the tech. I don't have a rich uncle. So I was in that money. So because my own brother too works for me and them, so we use the money, we use it to run the tech. Okay, let's see if we will scale on time. Let's see how we'll scale. So when we wash finish, we quickly go and pick other things, we delegate some. So when we realize that, wow, okay, it's like this tech won't take me to where I need to be. There are areas you need to be real with yourself. Yes, it won't take me to where I need to be. We closed down the tech, and I continued doing the business. And some of my staff that needed to go and get a job went to get a job. And after COVID, those that could come back came back. And we moved, and we moved into this new business, and I have picked everything I've learned. So another quote I would say is, nothing runs by itself. I first said the issue about Facebook. Somebody was financing Facebook. Somebody was financing Microsoft. We all read all those books. Something will run it. Something is paying for it. Nothing is free. So somebody comes to motivate me and tells me this and that. The first thing, like I said, when I discovered that, oh, we're into this laundry space now, and I was trying to compete with them, but their rent is free. I just told myself the truth, because as a businessman, you must aspire. Yes, I had big dreams, but I have to face the reality of where I am. Our parents. And there's something I usually tell myself from the things I learned from Faith Foundation. Then we're told that you have to make sure you don't owe your staff salary. So every month, I look at how much have I made. Yes, salary might come late, but I look at I have to pay my staff salary, because at least if I don't pick anything, the thing is don't owe your staff, so I now have to pay. And so you keep running that race. So it's like you run that race every 30 days.
Thank you so much for that answer. It was really great. But my next question is this. So how are you ensuring Crispy Juice continue to deliver innovative solutions that solves global challenges?
One of the global challenges that we decide to address is in the area of fall a little bit into agri-tech, health tech, and I'll put it this way: is encourage people to live a healthy lifestyle. And we scored that because of the peculiarity of Nigeria. Most of the time we are busy. We need to embed some food in our daily intake to help us have the necessary vitamins to remain healthy. So what we have tried to do is we've tried to make sure we get healthy and organic fruits from the source, juice them without additives, and get it to the end user. So we are basically on this key area for now. After the advent of COVID, more people are more particular about their lifestyle. We have lifestyle living, and what we are trying to add our own input is we want to make sure that people live healthy. In living healthy, we want to make sure that they get organic fruits at their doorsteps via technology. That's simply what we are trying to do.
Looking at your experiences at different places, how has these experiences contributed to your overall skill set in driving your business growth?
At the point of doing Niger campus, I would say that is like an offshoot of after going to Faith Foundation. I've understood a little bit about business. I'd gone into laundry, and I felt that okay, I needed to scale. Then you need to also, I picked up a job. So the job I did then was in First Bank control room. What I basically learned there is, so I tell people, there's nothing bad being an entrepreneur working in a structured outfit. I learned structure. I learned so people say things, you do one thing monotonous is what they ask us, saying, what is your SOP? What is your standard operating procedure? What's your SOP? What's your SOP? So if you're coming from a corporate, you have experience from a corporate sector, you've worked in a structured organization, you learn what structure is. You learn the beauty of, you might not like it if you're a creative person, and you learn the beauty of, okay, this particular thing is key to this section of the business. I have to put one person in charge. This particular person has to be doing this. So in life, when I try to look at it, I realize why, you see that companies are structured, might just have one, there might be even two people you will do this, the other person is to oversee. So if this person is not there, the other person makes sure this is done. So I've learned structure, learned to see things organized. You wonder how they manage thousands of staff. So I've learned to see things organized. And the unit I worked, I've learned to be more security conscious. I've learned to understand some key components because I was operating to work in the head office of how a bank runs. So you tend to see some things back end, and it's made me see the beauty of for every big structure, every big corporation you see, they've built structure. They've been able to understand the key areas that brings value, success, money to that company. You wonder, why is it that there's this office and they put this person, you have your line manager, you report to this, you send reports before you leave. You think they are hard. When you come to your business, you realize that before you go and sleep for the day, how much did I make? So you realize, oh yeah, I need to send reports before I go. So those things, I realized that, they were all but a training ground for me.
All right. So looking at the scenario you mentioned earlier, that an investor wanted 70% equity of your business, would you say negotiation skill is very, very important to every startup entrepreneur?
Negotiation without knowledge is nothing. So I was younger, we're younger then. But when you realize at that level you need money, negotiation is key. But like they always say, you are the ant on this negotiation table. What are you coming to negotiate with? You practically die with your idea. So the person here has a bigger advantage already. Yes, if we're going to be real. So I own an idea. There's somebody that has been successful in other businesses or has worked and saved up his money, and person said, look, I want to invest. Now, some of these people, for us, the founders, some of these people already understand risk management. Some of them have had it bad. So that's how you put your knowledge. Some of them have valued your business. And so they offer you something that is ridiculous, quote unquote. Some try to push it to you. Some want to see how much of knowledge, what you have, what you know about your business. That's where, yes, I can say negotiation, but is it negotiation where you are, if you wait, you have limited things to negotiate with. You have an idea, what are you going to do? Then you look at there's the rule, or why give up 70% when I have 100? But the person who wants to invest has looked at you that if you don't have these funds, you can't move, you can't do much. So in negotiation, for me, if you put me in this space now for me to negotiate, it's a different ball game, because now I'll say I'm more knowledgeable. I know what it is to negotiate. I know how to say, okay, this is my idea. I have experience. So because you're coming as a newbie. The person who is offering you 70% is still looking at, I need to monitor you. You've not really done much. You've not done any business before. So yes, experience is key. You've not done anything before. Basically, I'll just give you X amount of money and I don't know what we do with it next. So, like I said, there are things that will help me negotiate and have experience. There's a little bit of track record. I've done this, done that, I've transitioned. So if someone is negotiating 70%, I have better things on the table to negotiate with to get a better deal. So that's how I put it as knowledge is key, experience is key in negotiation, and negotiation skills is also needed.
We currently live in a very fast-paced world. So my question is, how do you continually improve yourself to remain relevant and a thought leader in your space?
As a leader, we have what we call we have founders bias, and one of the biases is we feel that without us the business won't run. As a leader, one of the things I've learned is as you go is delegation. It has taken even people that more knowledgeable than me to look at me and say, you need to delegate. And that has helped me to do other things. So, and every leader has his core. That's area where you do best at. Some leaders are good marketers. So as you grow, you're doing everything, face the marketing that is your core, you can delegate others. As a leader, your strength might be operation. You don't always have to be there. Face it, but you already know when things will happen because you need to read more. There's a level, you need to network more. So you need to move. So at every phase in entrepreneurial journey, there are levels. So as you move, there are some phases where, yes, you need to actually be in your business. When it's grown, you've mastered it, you've put structure. There's a level, there's structure, you need to read more. There's a level where you feel you've read, you need to do networking. Because in networking, you meet investors. Networking, you meet more customers. So the entrepreneurial journey has made me learn all this, and I realized there are phases to it. And every founder has to deal with this. And founder's bias. Founder's bias is listen to people. You might feel your idea is perfect. Listen to people. Your founder's bias is without me, you can't run. No. The beauty of a business, if you can live your business and it runs without you.
So my next question is, as a founder and a CEO, how do you balance the enormous responsibility that comes with the role?
First of all, I'll put it this way. You must make sure you have something inside before you start the entrepreneurship journey. For me, I'll go back. When I started, first thing was I went to Faith Foundation. I can recommend it. They are still good, and other schools are available. When you have content, you see, that school is structured knowledge. Despite the fact you have a degree or whatever, now they tell you, do this, do that. It helps you to understand that you're going to have rowdy moments where you have to deal with this, deal with that, deal with this. They teach you the power, to manage crisis. In business, you get paid for solving problems, so there'll be crisis even in your own place. So people believe you and believe you're a leader because there's crisis. So the first thing is you have training. That means there's something inside of you. If you learn it, if you work in Nigeria for a while, you can lose it. You go back and pick a paid employment. So in Nigeria, I'll call being a business and a talent. Then try and go through a structured education. If you've done that, you have content, because when you go into the real field, it's a different ball game. It's like a hunter. They tell you this is how to kill a lion. But it's not just one way. When you get there, lions climb trees. If you meet the lion on the tree and you're just trained out with your head, you always watch video on how to kill the lion on land. So a business school opens your mind. So when there's that content, with what you know is your innate ability, when problem comes, you already have what it is to navigate. Then you know the field you are going into. So this field is operation. Now operation means you need to do a lot of machines. You have to have things running up and down. That means you have a little bit of, if you don't have engineering, that means you have the mind to open up things, enter things, or you have a staff. Oh, your thing involves a lot of strength. You must have the strength, because as an entrepreneur, after your staff live by 6, 7, 8 or 9, depending on your kind of business, you still need to go home. If you check the records for the day, because the records for the day allow you always want to check, it allows you to sleep and you brood over it. Did I do well in this area? So it's like you have to drop your time. So why they work? So why you also need that structure is why they are working. You have to be able to look. Sometimes you have to be able to stand back and look, okay, why they were producing, I use production because that's what I do. And okay, I noticed that this staff here, this is what this staff needs to do better. Okay, this is what they need in this department to do better. It gives you an insight. Then it also helps you with your hindsight, because it's not everything you can see. You see your insight, maybe to give you an hindsight of, okay, how do I solve this problem? So to put everything in one knowledge is, you have to check yourself, you are built for it. You can handle challenges, you can handle failure. 2, go to a structured business school. It helps you, prepares you. Then choose a field, choose a business that if there's nobody, you will do it yourself. So if you have all that, it will help you overcome the bad days. There will be bad days. And it will help you see better on the good days. For those bad days, you'd have seen that, okay, I have this machine breakdown. Some are not in the books, they're not in school books. But because you're already prepared for it, you already learned, you need to manage crisis. Okay, I don't do it like this. I do it like, let me call this person. Oh, this and that. Another thing, be nice to your neighbor if you run a business. Oh, okay, quickly, my neighbor, Chris, can I quickly use your generator? Okay, all those things. So your ability to manage crisis in your business, so there's risk. You must be a risk taker. Risk. Take every risk. And sometimes, when you are not moving forward, Yoruba will say, Omotoba Shipa Langbe, it's a child who opens the hand, you carry. That is my quote for Nigerian finance space. You come, you tell me you have an idea. Sorry, it doesn't work in Nigeria. The quote is, you have done something, your hand is like this, and somebody will not help you. You can't go to the bank with an empty account. They say you have an idea. No, you'd have been doing something. They'll give you money. So one of the things we learned is, after you use your own money, you must use other people's money. The other people's money is family and friends. When you exhaust it, you have to go to the bank.
Looking at your journey so far, what can you say about how the principle of focus, hard work, and resilience contributed to your long-term success?
If you don't learn to be focused, you will learn it the hard way. So, and focus can come in different ways as you move through different phases, career in life. That's for someone like me. I tend to focus on what is at hand at that time. And as a businessman, at a point in time, you have to tell yourself the truth. You see some businesses, some people come and say, this business folded one part of their company. It's not bad. Sometimes you have to focus. When you check the books and see this is what brings money, you can close down one area and focus. So at the point in time, you need to focus on what is at hand as at that time. When you move to the next thing, you focus. So the energy needed, because when I put the whole light on it, there's no how I'll get results. So I put light on it. So some people say, oh, you close this down. I said, no, let's focus. Once I get results, I can spread, I can move. You can see there was an interview that they asked the Zenith Bank owner. They owned Visa phone before, and he said, yes, I did it, but after a while, he realized that it's not his core. So he sold Visa phone. So if we learn from successful African Nigerian entrepreneurs, there are things to learn why we need to focus. Some say, yes, they have different businesses. No, there is one cash cow. One worked, one succeeded, one did well. You know what? Copied the template. So focus is key for every businessman. You need to focus. You need to be dedicated. If you are not dedicated, dedication, I'll put dedication this way. Dedication helps you. Is on bad days, you can get your light bulb moment. Is on bad days, you probably get the breakthrough you need. So you need to focus. So sometimes I have a leader that tells me, you've gone to the office again on Christmas Day. Oh, you've gone to the office on New Year. Reasons why is because there are some things I want to just come and check, maybe when staffs are not around. I just want to check. Sometimes I just want to follow. I just pass by. I just open check. You have to just be dedicated to it. You don't know, somebody has been observing you. Someone just say, I see you open your office every day. Okay, this is how. So your dedication is like your devotion. You know, we're in the era where they say startups are shutting down. What we can learn is there are some things that bring revenue. There are some things that will bring profits. So if you have a business, you are running 2 or 3, yes, it's good. Some are complements. So we don't get it wrong. Some are interrelated. But whatever you do, if there is business, you have to have that focus, because when you focus, the next guy is looking at you. Your customer can be your investor. He's also looking at you. This guy is working on this thing. You're always coming. So focus and dedication are key ingredients.
In your CV, there was a time you worked as a PA to a politician. What motivated you to pick up such a role, and what are some of the lessons you learned within that period that are shaping your life positively today?
As you grow in life, in business, at that point in my life, I was working in the bank. I felt it was monotonous. So I wanted to pick up a job that would help me meet people and explore. So when the offer came, I took it because I wanted to meet more people and I wanted to explore. I wanted to do something different. So I see some people CV, they've worked in a place for 10, 20 years. It's good. It's they love their job and their job loves them. It's good. But for someone like most business people, you know, there's a meme about business people. While you at night, you are thinking of what's the next marketing strategy, and you just drew one the other day, you just want to change it. So most of us are business people, we can be spontaneous. So at that level in my life, I just felt that, you know what, I wanted to meet more people. I wanted to leave the 4 walls, meet more people. I wanted to network. And the offer came, I took it, and it's been a wonderful experience.
We all believe challenges are part of life. So my question here is, how do you handle challenges when they come?
Challenges for every business it happens every day. It happens in life. So our challenges are peculiar. Depends on what you do. I used to have a friend. He has a delivery business, and they said if you can't ride a bike, you can't work with them. They overcame that challenge, because if you run a logistic company and you can't ride a bike, one day the guy can wake up on you and say he's not doing that. But when I heard that was innovative. So challenge is every day. So you have to be positively hard on the inside, positively just know that whatever comes, you want to overcome it. Then you can't overcome challenges without knowledge. So like the Bible will say, teach us how to pray, or we pray amiss. So challenges must come, because that's how you grow. So as they come every day, just make sure that, first of all, your mental capacity is what is needed. If you are mentally right, when it comes, you already know how you want to wave it. Then if you have knowledge, now you have to always improve on yourself. Improving comes in different ways. You can, like they say, for a CEO, try and read your one book in a month. The kind of books you read matters, because you also learn to overcome. Read articles, watch stories of successful people. You would learn. You pick one or two things. Thank God there are more African people saying their stories. You would learn. Get a mentor and get someone in that field that they're like, someone advised me, get someone in that field that you're doing, you are already. And yes, it might be hard, but try and find where that person goes to, whether the church the person goes to, whether the kind of outing the person goes for, maybe birthdays or stuff. Try and, where the person is more comfortable, try and meet with the person. From there, you would get knowledge. I'll give an example. I was having issues in my. So as you moved, you've read, you moved. When it gets a level, you just need to get mentors. And I met this man. When I finally met him, someone had been telling him, I just said, "Oh, Shay, yeah, good guy." You know, I wasn't going to beg for money. Okay, let's talk. I said, "Sir, I want to ask you about. I've been battling with a machine. The machine keeps shutting down." He just said, "Is the machine from this country?" I said, "Yes, sir." The machine, it shuts down this hour. Yes, sir. The machine is when you want to supply, you just shut down. Yes, sir. Let me tell you, go and look for money, buy this. That advice alone is worth millions. So, and when I fixed that problem, I realized that, yes, that particular person gave me money, but that person solved a big problem for me. So, we are in a space in Africa where, yes, it's going to be hard for you to get someone that will tell you the truth, but yes, you will get. Because you yourself, are you saying the truth? If you are truthful, you get someone that is truthful. So, as I moved, I got this particular person, very big in that industry, and he gave me this advice. I know there was one day I kept asking, you have to be patient. The person too is busy, the person has issues. We're being real. Hello, sir. Yeah, don't because of that go and get angry. And it took me months, if it was not years, and finally the person got to me. And when the person reached to me, the person gave me about maybe a 3 minutes or 5 minutes phone call. And in that 3 minutes or 5 minutes call, it solved my problems of millions. I just told myself that, you know what? The person asked me, this machine is from this country. I said, oh, wow. He said, don't use this. This will give you this problem after a while. This machine is meant to last for this amount of years. If you want to do this for long, use this. And, if I was going to pay consultancy, I didn't even know the consultant that would help me. I'd have paid a lot. That conversation solved problem of years. And, everything, solving challenges is you yourself. Are you, when all those things come, you are being hit. Can you withstand it? Do you have the knowledge to withstand it? Get people that have done it, that have succeeded. You need them. So some they are online. Thank God there's Instagram. They're all this now. You reach out to them. They will not answer you first. You meet them at events. There's one I met. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, true. I've been seeing your name, but do you know the truth? Anytime I try to reply you, another important chat comes or call. Don't be angry. And the person gave me audience. So mentors too are key as we move.
All right. Going forward, what are your passion for your current business?
Going forward, my passion has still been helping people. So now I've narrowed it down to, okay, health-wise, how can we help people? How can we produce set of juices that can help people with health-related issues? So my passion now is seeing other business go, because I can't do everything. I can't supply everything. So I'm big on doing research on what kind of juices you can do cheaper to help solve health-related issues. And for me personally, that's what I'm big on, and how to make the world a better place.
In this conversation, you have made mention of mentorship a couple of times. So I want you to tell us the role mentorship played in your business and how it has helped you during challenging times.
Mentoring is key in every area of life. Whoever is successful has had good mentors. Nobody falls from the sky. Mentoring starts from the home, from your dad, your mom. Some of you could be your auntie, your uncle, or whoever. So mentoring starts from life, and as you that wants to be the mentee, is your ability to listen. So mentoring is key. Mentoring has helped me thus far from when I was able to differentiate what is good from what is right. I realized that people tell me things. Some I have to look at it the other way in curiosity, and some I look at some, oh, it's right, I move. So mentoring is a key ingredient of life, a key ingredient to success, a key ingredient to business growth, business sustainability, especially when mentoring is from someone that has been successful, someone that is successful. Because you can get mentoring from someone that is retired too. Yeah, and he's looking at you, he's telling you, this is where this thing will end. You know, some people just think because the person doesn't have money, but check the person's CV. The person is retired. He's not tired. He might be telling you that, young man, look at this thing. It's a form of mentoring. When we read books, we undergo mentoring because we are getting from the person's thoughts. So mentoring is actually in our everyday life, our everyday lifestyle. You get mentored. So I tell people that I want to go to this, I want to do that. I just say, see, I've read a book from so and so person. If I've read a book from an Harvard professor, or a Harvard professor rather, I'll say, oh, see, I've attended there because I've already read what the person's thought is, what the person has, you know. And when you read some book, they'll tell you that the person has been doing this thing for 30 years, the person has successfully built this for 30 years, the person has successfully built this for 40 years. That person is compressing knowledge of 30, 40 years. So when I've read it, it's a form of mentoring. Mentoring is from book reading. Mentoring can be verbal, can be someone following up on you. So mentoring is key in every form of success. Is key. If you have mentoring in so I'll put it when we're in school, someone will tell you this course. This is the style the lecturer uses. It's a form of mentoring. As told you, so mentoring is in every phase. So if you are someone that you are receptive to ideas and you have a filter, so when you receive, you have your filters. Okay, now look at it. Mentoring is key and is needed to a successful lifestyle.
Thank you so much. We are winding down right now. And I would like you to tell us about something or a belief system that has kept you going.
I believe in God, and I believe nothing happens without God. There's something written of everybody, and which you have to know first. Without God, you can be doing the same thing. Others will get help, you won't get help. So there's a God factor in it. Some people call it different names. Some people call it grace. Some people are called, like someone will say, there are many people playing football, but why are they just few people that are successful? So there's that thing that you are called for. There's that thing called grace. So I believe in the God factor. To you to be successful, there is a launching pad. There's a popular quote I like, one of, and it says, if you ever see my head up, you know, I've climbed the shoulders of great men. You know, there is always somebody great.
That is beautiful. So at this point, we want to know, what legacy would you want to be known for?
I want to leave things better than I met them, be it in business, be it in my personal life, be it within my environment, be it in any area I find myself. I want to leave it better than I met it, because in practical terms, I've realized that I'm also a product of people living things better. So I've enjoyed that. So I'll sign off with that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for staying to the end. If you learned something from this video, don't let it end here. Subscribe to the channel so that we can grow and make positive impact together in our society. See you in our next story.